round of applause for Josh.
Hello. Hey guys, my name is Josh. I did a B2B sales talk, I don't know, maybe a month ago, and everybody was talking about like funnels and conversion, and so I went up and tried to talk about stuff like that. And then I left and I was like, you know what, the truth is, like, I was just pathetically desperate for so long until we closed a deal that we built a real business off the back of it. So with that context, I decided to come up here and just tell stories. And today what we're going to talk about is what we built and what we're doing, and then more importantly, what we did and then we didn't do that almost ruined our entire company. So the foundation of our company was we built a business off the back of food waste. So grocers throw out a bunch of food every day, it ends up in a landfill, produces methane gas, and that hurts the environment. So the statistic is, if international food waste were a country, it'd be the third leading cause of greenhouse gas emission behind the US and China. So the idea was, if there was a way for us to see deals on food through their phone, people pay through their phone and pick it up in the store the same day, people would shop like that all the time. So we took the discount food rack, made it look sexy, put it on your cell phone. Now, we partner right now with Loblaws. We're rolling out across Quebec. We're basically selling their food in their store with their labor, and we take a commission. So the process is you buy the food through your app, you show up to the store, grab your own item, go through customer checkout, they confirm you on an iPad. That's how it works. It's cool, it's exciting, we've raised money, we've got a cool office, we're building the team. But what wasn't cool and wasn't exciting is about a year ago when we were almost dead. We had no grocery partners, we had nothing really happening, the business was starting to dwindle, we were running out of money. Also, as a startup founder, when you raise money, people think it's great, but you just start spending more money and then you're still running out of money all the time anyway until you become profitable. So that's a side story. So all this was happening, and one of our investors, our biggest investor at the time, owned a greenhouse based out of Leamington. And there were a couple companies in the US doing this, but they're like, what if you just take all the product that's weird looking, that wouldn't end up at a grocery store anyway, and you box it, and you ship it directly to people? People will buy that, it'll be a discount, it'll be awesome. So we're like, okay, we do not want to do direct to consumer, that sounds like the worst thing we could do. And then a company called Tyson Foods called us, flew me into Chicago to work with their innovation lab. Tyson Foods is the biggest meat manufacturer in America, and I think one of the biggest in the world. They're like a multi-billion-dollar business. So they flew us in, and eventually they convinced us to do this Flashfood box with them, so we would source all the produce from third parties, put it all into a facility, package it, add their protein that they would have thrown out anyway that still has 4 or 5 weeks of food, and then send it directly to consumers. And it sounded like a great idea. So it got to the point where the CEO of this publicly traded company, that I don't even know how many billions they are, even tweeted about us. So excited to partner with Flashfood for the Flashfood box. I can't wait to see this happen. So we ran a trial in Canada before we started in the US. Now we were going to Detroit. So we started with our biggest investor in Leamington. We got all the product shipped to Leamington, and then they compiled it there. They took it on a truck to outside of Toronto, left it in a warehouse. Another third party picked it up, delivered it directly to consumers. So we went from having no revenue, no grocery partners, to the highest revenue that we ever had. Things were kind of looking good, but the team started to get pissed and depressed. So we went from building a cool app, a cool innovative process, to now building a company off the back of a Shopify site, which is awesome, but not what we wanted to do. Furthermore, people didn't know what they were getting in their boxes. So we went to our top investor who owned the greenhouse. This is a guy who wrote the biggest check, and we're like, please, just give us some sort of forecast so we could tell our customers what they're getting in their boxes. So he's like, okay, this week you'll have X, Y, Z, and cauliflower. All right, so it's Wednesday, and the boxes are going out on Monday. So my COO who's sitting in the room is like, okay, Thursday, hey, investor, please tell me what's in the box. X, Y, Z, cauliflower. Okay. Friday, what's in the box? X, Y, Z, cauliflower. Okay. Same thing Saturday, Sunday. Monday morning at 4:30 a.m., my COO gets a text message. Hey, yeah, sorry, Cedric, there's no cauliflower this week. And Cedric's like, for fuck sakes. So Cedric pulls me aside, and he's like, Josh, what can we do here? And I'm like, Cedric, honestly, I don't know. This is our biggest investor. I don't know what we do with the guy. So we ended up running the pilot with Tyson Foods in Detroit, and this is kind of what it looked like, a tire fire. It was a complete disaster. Now, I don't know if people like catch the joke about a tire fire. I've said it a few times, and like some people don't know what that is. But basically, like if you envision a bunch of tires being on fire, it's like the worst thing that could happen to the environment and like anything in general. But I guess the takeaway from all of this, so since then things have changed. We partnered with Loblaws. They're a great partner. We're rolling out the Flashfood app across the country. Across Quebec and then maybe other places. But the coolest thing that we learned from this as a team is that, I mean, no matter how good or bad things seem, you can get through it if you stick together. And as a CEO, if you provide people context, they'll follow you as if you're a good leader and you're honest. And then also, from a retail perspective, it's actually not that difficult today to start a direct-to-consumer company. So we started a drop-shipping food company from start to, I don't know, finish in like 6 weeks, and we were doing $25,000 of weekly sales. It was a complete train wreck. Like, I would not recommend anybody do it. But if anybody in here has an idea and they want to start selling something online, it's actually relatively doable if you have a good idea behind you. So with that, happy to answer any questions, guys.
Hi. Why was it a tire fire?
Why was it a tire fire?
Yes. What happened?
Yeah. I don't, like, how many things can we list? One of the things was, like, we're this company trying to do environmentally friendly things, and we're partnering with a company that has a reputation of, like, literally being the worst in the way that they treat all animals. So getting over that and being like, all right, we got to see if we could solve them, like, this problem. And they would send shipments to our facility in Detroit, and they would have one skid on like an entire plane because they flew it there from across the country. So we're like, oh my gosh, like not only are they treating like animals horribly, like the amount of gas and like environmental impact that happened for this one skid of chicken that we couldn't even sell in Detroit anyway, like what are we doing? And then as that kept happening, like the sales numbers increased, but people weren't happy anymore in the company because we didn't believe in what we were building or what we were doing anymore. So that, more importantly, was the worst thing. And seeing collectively, like, the whole, like, aura of the company just go from being really excited about what we were doing to being really upset about what was happening. And that just led to negativity and unhappiness. And, like, luckily we got through it together and we found a grocery partner. But we were so close to shutting it down.
Hey, Josh, I have to say, great speech.
Yeah, thanks.
First of all, I listen to so many podcasts, and it's so great to actually hear about the tragedies, which I feel like a lot of presentations lack. So it's good that raw truth is great. My question for all the leaders in the room, really, if there was one tip, you said you went through hard times. If there was one tip you could give everyone in the room about how do you continue being a leader when you're walking in that room and your hands are trembling, what did you do to really motivate the team and kind of be empathetic with them to get through that hard time?
Yeah, I said good luck a lot to people. No, you know what? It was just like being honest with people. Like we got to a position where we didn't have any grocery partners, and it's like, guys, like we don't really have an out here. Like this is the path that we have to take right now, and just being very open and honest about what was happening. People understood it, and luckily we have a team that stuck together probably for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months when it got really bad. Like nobody had dropped off. And then also just being authentic. So like telling real stories about what was happening and seeing some sort of traction. I think that kept the group together. But I don't think we had much longer. So like I can't say like, hey, I'm a great leader. It was really just like we kind of got lucky that it lasted that long, I guess.
Hi. What was the experience of searching for a retail partner like, in terms of like groceries?
Like, go jump in front of one of those trains and survive, and that's what it felt like. Honestly, it was horrible. Like, it was horrible. I talked to every grocery executive in almost like the continent, and like they're throwing out food and they're paying waste management companies to come pick it up, and I'm like, let us sell your garbage and give you more money and more customers, and they're like, yeah, like, what do you have to think about? Like, do you want more money? So learning how difficult that is, and now it's completely different. Like, now we've realized that we have to give up a little bit of information, that we have to let people in the room who are grocery executives who have been operators for their entire lives, you have to tell the story in a way that they come around and they're like, hey, you know what? We might be able to use it for these products. And you're like, oh, yeah, really? And then like, and maybe like some other stuff. And then you just have to let them start to, you have to make it feel like, and this is probably selling it to all retail, but you have to make it seem like it's their idea and they're bringing it to you. And then also just be like open and honest about what you can contribute as a company. And like we've only signed like one real partner, so like that worked once. so there's some context.
Hi, how are you doing? I'm wondering what the logistics are like of how that actually happens. Like, how does a person outside the store all of a sudden touch the kind of questionable fruit and vegetable?
So this is like crazy. When like best before dates and sell by dates in grocery for the most part, well, not for the most part, outside of like baby formula and health products, they're actually not like, they're not expiry dates on like this food is good or bad. They're just a quality check on whether this is the freshest it's going to be or it's not the freshest it's going to be. So like yogurt or like, I don't know, like salt. Why does salt have an expiry date? It's crystallized. So the deals that we're selling through Flashfood are like food is 50% off. So to give you context, like our top customer is a young mother with 3 kids under the age of 10. They live on less than $20,000 of household income. And if you annualize their savings this year, they'd have an additional like $3,000 in the bank. And we also have another customer who bought a new cooler, like freezer in her basement because she's saving so much money on meat and just freezing it. So educating people to the point where they understand like the stuff is just as good as anything else. It's just getting close to code. It hasn't been that challenging because the value prop is so high.
No, I can appreciate with that. I was just wondering more of like how they walk into the store and find this.
Yeah. So you download the app beforehand. There's a bunch of like flyers that get handed out in the store. We post on social. They post to their existing loyalty card members. So you see the deal through your phone, pay through your phone, do your normal shop. And then on your way out beside the customer service desk, there's the Flashfood fridge. So you open it, you grab your item, go to the customer service. They have a list of names of people coming in. They just click your name and confirm the pickup, and you're good to go.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Perfect. That's all the questions we have time for, but let's give Josh a huge round of applause. Thank you so much. I love when people can come up and give an honest story like that. So thank you so much, Josh.